Prior to the announcement, President Trump campaigned for Israel to block their visit. He said on Twitter, "It would show great weakness if Israel allowed Representative Omar and Representative Tlaib to visit. They hate Israel and all Jewish people, and there is nothing that can be said or done to change their minds. Minnesota and Michigan will have a hard time putting them back in office. They are a disgrace." Let's bring in our North America correspondent, John Brain. John, this is perhaps a new low for the relationship between President Trump and the so-called Squad.
Yes, but it's debatable whether that relationship with the so-called Squad was ever anything than very poor. And it's, of course, we don't know quite how much influence Donald Trump had on this decision, but it certainly does appear to have nudged Israel towards stopping the Congresswomen go to that country, because originally they had said they would allow them in. The legal mechanism is a recently passed law by the Israeli parliament by which a foreign national can be denied entry if they call for a boycott of Israel or Israeli products. Well, let's speak to Nihad Awad from the biggest Muslim advocacy group here in the United States. First of all, bearing in mind the criticisms of these two congresswomen towards Israel, is it entirely surprising that this action has been taken?
Well, it is outrageous that the state of Israel, which claims to be a democratic state, to ban and prevent two U.S. lawmakers from entering just based on their political views. And these lawmakers are among the other lawmakers who approve a budget to fund Israel to the tune of $3.2 billion from U.S. tax money. And that's outrageous. However, it's not surprising, because those who know the history of the state of Israel, they know that it is an apartheid state. And unfortunately, now this was compounded by the fact that their decision has been inspired by the U.S. president, who is supposed to protect his members of Congress instead of provoking other nations to prevent them from access to see the reality on the ground. And that is the reality that Israel does not want the world to see. Israel will only allow and sanction guided tours by AIPAC of members of Congress. So if members of Congress are visiting to experience firsthand what's happening to the Palestinians without the control of AIPAC, that might damage the image of Israel, and because these members of Congress will come and talk about their experiences to their constituencies and to the world.
Well, putting aside whether it's an apartheid state, that's probably a separate argument, but is there any case at all for stopping people coming in if they're not just criticising the country, but actually calling for a boycott of that country?
Well, Israel is afraid of any criticism to allow people who can come and just, again, experience firsthand what the Palestinians have been experiencing for over 70 years. And definitely the boycott is legitimate, is political, is free speech, sanctioned by the U.S. Constitution. It's a non-violent form of political thought and expression. Israel, if it claims to be democratic, should not be afraid from people who voice civil and peaceful political opposition.
How is this going to feed into the political situation here in the United States? This has raised the profile of this issue. Will there be protests? Will there be representations made to the Israeli government, to the US government?
Well, I think these members of Congress and others have broke the glass ceiling and the taboo that you cannot speak or criticize Israel in the United States. And this is a challenge for the Democratic Party to redefine itself, and those who claim to be progressive on important issues to the American public have to prove that they are also progressive on the rights, human rights of the Palestinians. You cannot be democratic, you cannot be progressive here in the United States, but you are oblivious to the suffering of the Palestinian people. So that move and that decision and that development is very, very critical to who we are as an American nation. Are we hypocrite in supporting human rights at home, but turning a blind eye to what Israel is doing in our name with our tax money? So Israel's decision is very critical and very dangerous, and it's putting the U.S. to the test of, are we Are we on human rights for everyone, or are we selective?
Nihad Awad from the Council on American-Islamic Relations, thank you very much indeed. Well, a complicated situation with the Democrats themselves, who are also supporters of Israel, but the party has come out strongly critical of this decision. Back to you.
Our North America correspondent John Brain, thank you very much.